Hello and warm regards from Next Styles team. Welcome to another episode of Daily News Analysis. Today is 16 January. Let's see the topics that we are going to cover today. The first topic that we are having is about the Pongal Festival. Today we are celebrating Pongal Festival, so we are going to see what are the various rituals that are followed during the Pongal Festival. The second topic we are having is from the infrastructure part, that is the laboratory infrastructure. So in Gujrat, India's first state funded laboratory has been inaugurated, and this laboratory will be related with the pathogens which are actually fatal. For example, we are having coronavirus or Ebola virus or Nipah virus. So these kind of viruses which are fatal, to study them, to study their treatment, this laboratory is being established. The third topic we are having is about the road accidents. A new study by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways as well as Save Life Foundation has come out with a report which is stating that mostly the accidents which are happening in the country and which are leading to fatalities, they are due to poor engineering of the roads. So it is pointing out certain facts why the road accidents are happening in the country. The fourth topic we are having is about the labor force participation and the workers population rate. So in this context, we are going to see the recent data with respect to the unemployment and the labor force participation. And lastly, we are going to discuss about the export sector of the country. The exports in December have actually risen, and it is a positive trend for India because we are facing tariffs from USA. There are global developments which are leading to instability, and in this context, India is seeing a rise in the exports. So that is a positive news for the country. So let's start with the first topic, that is about the Pongal Festival. Now this topic, as we know, is relevant from GS Prelims Art and Culture, and context we have already discussed that this topic is we are discussing because we are celebrating the harvesting festival, that is Pongal Festival today. So let's see about the Pongal Festival. The meaning of the Pongal is boiling over or overflow. And in this Pongal festival, what we have is that a dish is being prepared, which is prepared by the newly harvested rice by boiling it with the milk and jaggery. This particular dish is known as Pongal. On the base of this dish, the name of the festival is kept Pongal Festival. And it is a harvesting festival. For example, Makar Sankranti is there, that is also related festival, which was 2 days back. And Lohri festival is also there. So all these Pongal, Lohri, Makar Sankranti, all these festivals are close by. Now next part here that comes is that what are the various things that are done during this Pongal festival, what are the ceremonies that are done. So first of all, we are having a kolam, that is rangoli. So the rangoli that is made during this festival is known as kolam. So this is example of the kolam. Then second thing we are having is Pongal dish. We have already seen that. Then one important aspect is cows. Cows are seen as a wealth for a rural economy because they provide milk as well as they are used for cultivating the fields. So they are being decorated, they are worshipped. Even we see festivals like Jallikattu festivals or sports that happen during the Pongal festival. So Jallikattu, which was in news a few years back, that is also part of the Pongal festival. Now Pongal festival is celebrated for 4 days. So first day it is known as Bhogi Pongal, on which the old belongings are discarded and new life begins. This is the last day of the Tamils year, of the Tamils last month's year. Then day 2, Surya Pongal, in which sun god is worshipped, and this is the first day for the new year in the Tamil calendar. Third one is Mattu Pongal. Mattu Pongal simply means it is honoring the cattle. So they are washed, their horns are decorated, their horns are polished. So we are actually honoring the cattle because they are the wealth and they help in cultivation of the field. The last is Kanum Pongal. It talks about socializing, family gatherings. So that is the last day of the Pongal festival, that is Kanum Pongal. Now next part that we are having is what are the other harvest festivals that are celebrated in the country, because question will be basically asked about the festival and the area which it is related with. So one we have already seen, Pongal is there. Then Makar Sankranti, it is celebrated pan-India, related with the Rabi. For example, Maharashtra, in Haryana, the Makar Sankranti, in UP, Makar Sankranti festival is celebrated. Then we are having Lohri. Lohri festival is celebrated in Punjab as well as Haryana. Then Baisakhi, Punjab, it is celebrated during the April month. Then Bihu in Assam, it is again celebrated in January. Then there are various types of Bihu, Magh Bihu, Bohag Bihu or Kati Bihu. Then Onam festival is celebrated in Kerala and it is in the October month. Then we are having Nokhali, Onam in August and September. Nokhali again Odisha, West Odisha, and it is again in October and September. Then we are having Wangala in Meghalaya, it is in October, November. Then Nabna in West Bengal, again November, December. Sugi in Karnataka in January. Then Magh Mela in January, February in Uttar Pradesh. Then Chhat Puja in Bihar, October, November. Bihar, Eastern UP, Jharkhand, and Guddi Padwa in Maharashtra in March, April month. So these are the important harvesting festivals that are celebrated in the country and you should be knowing about them. You can take a screenshot of it. So now you are in a position to attempt this MCQ. So attempt this MCQ and post your answers in the comment box. The second topic that we are having is BSL 4. Now what is this BSL 4? BSL 4 is Biosafety Level 4. So the context here is that in Gujrat we are having a first state funding BSL laboratory that has been inaugurated, or you can say वो अभी start होगा उसका construction. Now this the relevance is health security and pandemic preparedness as well as laboratory or indigenous research infrastructure. Now about the news is that our Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah has inaugurated or has laid the foundation stone of the India's first biosafety level 4 containment facility and laboratory in Gandhinagar, Gujrat. And this is the first state funded one. इसके अलावा we are having one NIV Pune, which is having similar characteristics or similar functionalities, which is also of the BSL 4 level. Now when we are talking about this BSL, what is this BSL? BSL means biosafety level 1, 2, 3, 4. Biosafety level 1 means that these viruses are actually of very low risk and are non-pathogenic. So it involves viruses that are lab strains of bacteria. The BSL 2 involves moderate risk and treatable diseases like influenza, hepatitis A. Then BSL 3 includes serious or airborne diseases like TB, SARS, CoV-1. And BSL 4 or biosafety level 4 includes highly fatal or not having no treatment related diseases like caused by Ebola virus or the Nipah virus. So this is about the BSL or the various levels of biosafety. Then similarly we are having ABSL. ABSL का क्या मतलब है? This is animal biosafety level. That means it will be dealing with those diseases which are actually impacting or affecting the animals but can spill over to the humans. For example, ABSL 1 it talks about routine animal infection studies. ABSL 3 high risk animal pathogens जैसे avian influenza हो गया, swine influenza हो गया. ABSL 4 is deadliest zoonotic diseases like Nipah, Ebola in animals. Now next is about this particular facility that is being developed in Gandhinagar. So the total cost will be 362 crores and it is a state funded and it will function under Gujarat Biotechnology Research Center. It is the second BSL 4 laboratory of the country after NIV Pune and is under state government, and it has been identified as the national facility by DBT. Now having these multiple facilities like BSL 4 facilities, how it is going to help us? You can just understand it by that at the time of Corona, we had a paucity of laboratories. Every time any testing of the Corona was to be done, that was to be sent to NIV Pune. So if we are having more of these facilities, more of this laboratory infrastructure in the country, then the identification, research over that particular disease and its treatment will become very, very fast, and it will help in improving the health outcomes of the country, especially with respect to the pandemic caused by the pathogens. Now next part that we are having is what are the other next part is that these are the various examples of the diseases upon which these kind of facilities are going to research. So you need to know about what kind of virus. It is a RNA virus or DNA virus. It is single stranded RNA or double stranded DNA or single stranded DNA. So that kind of information you should be having. Now next part that comes is that what are the other high security labs that we are having. So one is National Institute of Virology, that is in Pune. Then DRDO is also involved in this BSL4 category. So this is a civilian, this is a military or armed forces one. And then we are having GBRC, that is upcoming one, that we are talking about, the Gandhinagar facility that is coming up, Now ABSL, in ABSL category we are having ICAR Nishat, then second one is ICAR ICF MD. So this NIS HAD is in Bhopal and another one is Bhubaneswar. So these are the various high security labs that are existing in the country. Now next part is we are having a VRDL scheme. VRDL scheme means virus research and diagnostic laboratories. Under this scheme, we have a target of developing 165 laboratories in the country, out of which 154 will be BSL2 labs and 11 will be BSL3 labs. Now it's your turn. You have to attempt this MCQ and you have to post your answers in the comment box. And let's move to the third topic. The third topic that we are having is status of the road safety in the country. So the context here is, or the backdrop here is, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways as well as Save Life Foundation have released a report which have identified that the major reason of fatalities, that is deaths during an accident, is due to the poor engineering of the roads that are being built up in the country. So it is talking about some structural faults while building up road infrastructure in the country, which is leading to more accidents. So let's see this report. Now this is a joint report by Ministry of Road Transport as well as the Save Life Foundation, and it has identified top 100 districts which are having maximum number of fatalities due to accidents. Whenever I am saying word fatalities, it simply means deaths during an accident. Now India ranks first globally in the annual road accident fatalities. This is very much important for you from the mains point of view. Even UPSC Prelims में भी question आपसे पूछा जा सकता है upon the analytical aspect. The report highlights rather than only driver behavior, the main reason for road accidents include issues like systemic failures in the road engineering. For example, when the road is being built, there can be a sharp turn which can create a blind spot and which can lead to accidents. Then enforcement of the rules, that is another important problem. And post-crash response. Post-crash response means that in how much time ambulance is arriving, in how much to what extent we are able to hospitalize the victims, or to what extent we are able to provide first aid to the victims of the accident. Now next part that we are having is what are the key national level findings. So the key findings include, first of all, 60% of the road accidents or deaths are occurring without any traffic violation, highlighting the role of poor road engineering. So almost 2/3 of the road accidents that are happening that do not include any kind of road, that do not include any kind of traffic violation. ट्रैफिक वायलेशन का मतलब क्या है कि ओवर स्पीडिंग अगर आप कर रहे हो तो हो सकता है आपको एक्सीडेंट हो जाए, बिकॉज चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. हेलमेट ना पहना हो या रॉन्ग साइड अगर आप हो, तो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर नोन एज ट्रैफिक वायलेशंस. सो major road accidents or accidents that we are seeing and the deaths that are happening, that are not due to traffic violation, that are basically due to the poor engineering. They indicate that the road engineering is not very sound in the country. Second data that we are having is 53% of the road accidents fatalities occur between 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. That means the evening hours, the rush hours that we are having. Then 8 out of 10 victims were hospitalized through non-108 means. 108 means that it talks about the ambulances. So ambulance service के लिए 108 है, तो 108 के बिना hospitalization होता है 8 victims का out of 10 victims. That simply means the ambulance or the reach of the ambulance is not very much appropriate in dealing with the road fatalities. We need to improve our infrastructure with respect to the ambulances. The next part is the important districts which are having major road fatalities, that is major road deaths. The top one is Nasik rural, then we are having Pune rural, then Patna, Ahmednagar and Purba Midnapur. These are the 5 districts which are having maximum number of road accidents. Now next part we are having is the scale of crisis. So around 89,085 deaths occurred in the 100 districts identified in the report, and it includes over 25% of the total road accident that happened in the country. or deaths happened in the country. There were total 9.68 lakh accidents in year 2023 to 24. So आपको ये याद रखना कि almost 10 lakh accidents happened in 2023-24, and out of which almost 3.35%, not 3.5, 335%, that is 3.5 lakh deaths were happened. So there was a loss of financial loss. There was also loss of life. So both have happened in the country. And if we compare with other countries like China, it is having 30% of the total road accidents that have happened in the country. That means in China there are around only 3.5 lakh accidents that happened during the period. If we talk about USA, it is only 25% of 1/4 of the road accidents happened in USA. So it's very clear that we need to focus upon the road safety. If we compare with the counterparts, then we are having a very large number of road accidents that are happening in the country, and a large number of deaths that are happening to the country, and that is leading to loss of financial loss as well as loss of life, and ultimately it is affecting or it is leading to or increasing the poverty in the country. Then if we talk about the state wise, so UP is the first state. It is having maximum districts which are having major fatalities. उसके बाद second number पे आता है तमिलनाडु, third number पे we are having महाराष्ट्र, then fourth पे आएगा कर्नाटका, and fifth पे आएगा राजस्थान. So these are the 5 states which are having maximum districts having more number of fatalities in terms of road accidents. The next part we are having is India's road network. So this basic data you should be having. The basic data is that the total road network of the country is around 63.45 lakh kilometers, in which the national highways are only 1.46 lakh kilometers. उसके बाद 1.8 lakh kilometers are state highways, and rest are other roads. Other roads include district, village roads as well as the border roads. And 63% of the total fatalities occur outside the national highways, undermining risk on local roads. So what this report is highlighting? This report is highlighting, in spite of national highways which allow for more speed of the vehicles, the road accidents are very less. More accidents are happening upon the local roads, upon the district roads where the speed limit is quite low. So that can basically be due to either traffic violations or there is some structural fault in the road engineering. The next part that we are having is the nature of the fatal crashes. So almost 72% of the fatalities or the deaths are happening due to rear to end collision, head on collision and pedestrian crashes. उसके साथ साथ वायलेशन वाइज कंट्रीब्यूशन, यानी जो फैटिलिटीज या जो डेथ होते हैं ड्यू टू ट्रैफिक वायलेशन, वो किस में है? ओवर स्पीडिंग की वजह से ऑलमोस्ट 20% है, रैश ड्राइविंग की वजह से 7% है, एंड डेंजरस ओवरटेकिंग की वजह से 3% है. सो इफ वी सी इन टोटल इट इज अराउंड 30% which are happening due to traffic violation. Rest 70% are due to other reasons. So that is the area of concern here. Now next part that we are having is the major cause for the accidents that are happening. So engineering failures actually contribute, engineering failures are contributing, are the major contributors to the death on the road accidents. So among total 20 reoccurring issues, first one is damaged or absent crash barriers. The road markings have either faded or they are missing. Then poor or incorrect signage. The signs that are on the road sides are not correct or they are incorrect. Unprotected hard roadside structures. Then inadequate street lighting. So these are the reasons due to which are highlighting the poor engineering in the road infrastructure. The next we are having is what recommendations or what need to be done. First of all, we need to focus upon the engineering measures. So road safety should be the prime concern here. So road safety surveys should be done. The Indian Road Congress and MOHRT guidelines should be followed, and site specific interventions are very much required. They should not be a blanket solution to every problem. Every site is having its own problems and site specific solutions are required. The next part comes is the enforcement mechanism. So need to strengthen the critical police stations and manpower. उसके साथ साथ टारगेट एनफोर्समेंट एट द नोन हाई रिस्क लोकेशन, दैट इज ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्ड. Third part that we identified was with respect to the ambulances. So 108 service ko we need to strengthen it. So for that, emergency and health response, first of all audit the 108 ambulance for the national ambulance code compliance. तो एक compliance में होना चाहिए. Secondly, set target of 75% hospitalization via this 108 service. So we need to make this 108 service more resilient and more vibrant to ensure that timely hospitalization is done. The next part that comes is governance related approach, what we need to focus upon. No new scheme is required. What we need to do is better utilize the already available funds and the schemes that we have. Strong coordination between police, road agencies and hospital is required. So we need to emphasize on better system, clear authority and sustained leadership, not just high spending. So high spending ke bajay we need to focus upon how to improve the coordination, how to utilize the funds in more efficient manner and how to use or properly implement the already available schemes. Now, next part is last part here. For the road safety, we are having a Stockholm Declaration on Road Safety that was signed in 2020, and India is a signatory to this particular convention or declaration, and this declaration targets that 50% reduction should be there in the road traffic deaths and injuries by 2030. So that is all about this road safety part. Now you are in a position to attempt the MCQ. So attempt this MCQ and post your answers in the comment box. Now the fourth topic that we are having is from the PLFS or Periodic Labor Force Survey, and it is highlighting about the female labor force participation and the worker population ratio at the year end or for the December month. So let's go to the news directly. The female labor force participation rate and the WPR at the yearly high, that is in December, it was at the highest in the last 9-10 months. Unemployment rate has also been stable and थोड़ा सा ये increase हुआ है किसी section के लिए. The periodic labor force survey that is conducted by NSO, this is important, you should be knowing it, and this NSO is under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So इस PLFS survey को यानी periodic labor force survey को कौन conduct कराएगा? NSO, ना कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर. सो यू शुड बी क्लियर दैट मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर से आपको कंफ्यूज किया जा सकता है, तो यू शुड नॉट बी कंफ्यूज्ड. द PLFS इज कंडक्टेड बाय NSO and NSO comes under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now next is, since January 2025, PLFS methodology has been revamped to provide monthly and quarterly labor market estimates, and the mechanism that is followed by it is the currently weekly status, यानी last week में what has been the status of employment and the labor force that is being taken in this particular survey. December 2025 bulletin is the 9th monthly release of the new series that was introduced recently. Total person surveyed and this rural urban is not of our concern here. Then monthly PLF's data may show short-term fluctuations due to seasonality, academic cycles and increased survey frequency. Now in this we talk about the LFPR or labor force participation rate, how it is defined. The labor force participation rate is defined as the share of population seeking or available for the work. Yani how many persons are willing to work, that is divided by the total working age population, that is known as labor force participation rate. And how many people are working, that will include the worker population ratio. So how many who are working divided by the working age population is known as worker population ratio. Now first of all about the LPR. The LPR is the key labor market indicators, that is in labor, whenever we are talking about the labor or working age, it is all about the age group between 15 to 59, or you can simply say that age of 15 or above is considered as the working age population. So it says the overall LFPR or labor force participation rate has continued an upward momentum since June 2025. So if we see, this is the overall one. So since June 2025 we are seeing that this LFPR is consistently rising, यानी more number of people are now trying to get job, they are more willing to work. So that means that we are having a more labor force in the country. And if we talk about the urban and the rural ratio, so in the rural area it is consistently showing an increase, so it is at the highest, and in the urban areas it is more or less stagnant, so it is now at a decline from the last 2-3 months. So it simply means that in the urban areas the less people are willing to work, while in rural areas more people are now willing to work. Now next part that we are having is female labor force participation rate, that how the females are actually responding to the labor needs. So if we talk about the rural areas, we are seeing an increase in the labor force participation rate. So females in the rural areas are more willing to work. Secondly, overall also it is at the highest, 35.3 in the last 9-10 months. And if we talk about the urban areas, it is actually declining. So the labor force, the overall labor force participation rate is declining in the urban areas, it is increasing in the rural areas. For the female population also the same trend follows. For the rural females, they are showing more willingness to work. For the urban females, they are showing less willingness to work, or it is more or less stagnant, because ज़्यादा difference नहीं है, 25.5 और यहाँ पे 25.3 है. Now next data that we are having is overall worker population ratio. देखो I have told you, एक होता है LFPR, that is labor force participation rate, जिसमें जितने people willing है काम करने के लिए वो गिने जाएंगे. जितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं, those who are able to find work, that come under WPR or worker population ratio. So those who are working divided by the population above 15 years, that is working age population, that will be relating with the worker population ratio. So उसका data देख लेते हैं. Now if we talk about the rural people, they are having more workforce, so the rural areas are showing more WPR, that is more number of people are actually working from the rural areas. Overall also it is increasing, that means more number of people are able to find work. In the urban areas it is more or less stagnant, or it is just showing a declining trend. So last 2 months it was 47%, now it is 46.8%. So again the same trend is repeating. In rural areas it is increasing, in the overall scenario it is increasing, in the urban areas it is showing a decline. Next we are having is worker population ratio. For the rural males, WPR rose to 76.0%. So we can see here, for the overall it has again increased. For the urban areas it is showing a declining trend. For the females also the same trend is continuing. Rural female it is showing increase, overall it is showing increase, but for the urban areas it is showing a slight decline, or it is more or less stable. Decline नहीं बोलेंगे इस trend को, हम इसको stable कह सकते हैं. Now next is unemployment rate, that is important for us. Unemployment rate means that those who are willing to work and are not able to find work divided by the working age population. So ये opposite हो जाएगा WPR का. So in the urban area, in the rural areas we are seeing a increase from the last month. So अगर हम rural area की बात करें unemployment के trends में, तो it is showing fluctuation. Once it is high, then decline, फिर high, फिर decline, फिर it is high, फिर decline. Now it has again increased in December. Similar pattern will be seen in the overall one. पहले stable है, फिर decline हुआ, फिर थोड़ा increase हुआ unemployment rate. Urban areas के लिए it is showing a decline, or more or less it is constant, but still in the urban areas the unemployment rate is showing a decline. Next part we are having is about the rural male unemployment rate. So for the males it is showing an increase in the rural areas, showing an increase in the overall scenario, and for the urban males the unemployment rate is more or less stable or constant for the last 2 months. For the females it is showing a decline in the unemployment rate is showing a decline in the rural areas. It is showing a more or less stable for the overall, and for the urban areas it is showing an increase. That means unemployment rate for the females in the rural areas, गाँव के अंदर females की जो unemployment rate है that has declined. In the urban areas it has increased. यानी more unemployment with respect to females is in the urban areas या शहरों में ज़्यादा है. Next is, it's your turn. You have to answer this MCQ and you have to post your answers in the comment box. And let's move to the last topic, that is the fifth topic. The fifth topic that we are having is about the India's exports. So the recent data for the export has now come up for the December month, and it is showing that we have seen a partial increase in the exports, although imports have also increased. But the baseline here is that India's export sector is facing a lot of challenges, especially with respect to the 50% tariff imposed by USA on India. And that tariff has actually pushed India to be bullish in its FTA signing. So recently a news is also there that out of 24, 20 upon 20 chapters, India and European Union have agreed upon. Only 4 chapters are left, and in the coming future we may see that India and European Union may be concluding a FTA. FTA. Now next is the backdrop is international trade data for December month is being released, and topic is relevant from GS paper 3 external sector. Let's go to the news. The news is that the global trade remains volatile. So what are the challenges that we are facing in the global trade? First of all, the high US tariffs which are being imposed on every country. Then another important one is global uncertainties. For example, Venezuela mein jo hua. Now Iran and USA, that things that are happening, the volatility in the Iran, because these countries are the oil producing regions, and whenever a resource rich region is being affected, that is going to lead to increase in the resource prices, and crude oil is the essential element for the whole trade. So these global uncertainties are there which are going to impact the trade. Then slowing demand in advanced economies like European Union, वहाँ पे भी demand कम हो रही because they are the major consumers. Then despite these challenges, India's exports have shown a positive trend in December 2025 by basically due to diversification of market. So India has now diversified the market. India is now exploring new avenues, due to which India's export has shown a slight increase. Now let's go to the topic. The key highlights of December are: exports have increased by 1.8% to 38.51 billion from 37.8 billion that was in November. Then that was in December 2024. So year on year increase हुआ है. Imports have also increased and they have increased sharply. So 8.7% से increase हुए हैं to 63.55 billion. So our trade deficit has actually increased, but exports have shown a positive sign. Trade deficit has widened by 21% to 25 billion from 20.63 billion a year earlier. So जितना भी data है वो last year से हम लोग compare कर रहे हैं. Next part, major gains कहाँ हमने किए. So in China, the exports have surged by 67.35%. So it is an important thing for us because China से हम majorly import करते हैं. Now we are also exporting to China. Secondly, UAE, उसके साथ भी हमारा export increase हुआ है, and Hong Kong also our exports have increased. Next is decline, obviously United States, because United States के tariff हम इंडिया के ऊपर है, पर इन tariffs की वजह से United States की economy के भी ऊपर भी impact है because it is facing inflation now. Now that was a 50% tariff, and secondly the uncertainties surrounding the India-US trade deal. That is another concern for India and USA. Now next part is, अगर हम product wise drivers की बात करें, especially with respect to China, the oil mills, marine products, telecom instruments and spices are the major exports that are being done to China. Next part that we are having is import trends, जो हम import करते हैं. So again, the imports have increased by 20% from China to 11.7 billion in December 2025. So out of around 63 billion imports, 11.7% are directly coming from China. So tell me what percentage of imports are being done from China. China is our important import partner right now. It reflects strong domestic demand, first of all, because demand है तभी तो import कर रहे हैं. Continued dependence on China, that is another element that we are concerned about. Next is overall export outlook. So Commerce Secretary Mr. Rajesh Agarwal has said that the overall external sector export scenario for India is positive. India's good exports have withstood the external challenges. That is an important thing. It is showing the resilience of India's external trade. Then total exports, goods and services are expected to rise up to 850 billion in the current financial year. So that is again a positive thing, that we are moving towards a positive export side now. India-US trade deal pe bhi he has said that in the few coming time, we may see that India and US are concluding their deal. It is in final stages, and as we know, an important element that is affecting the India-US deal is the agriculture sector. No fixed deadlines have been recently been announced, but it is seen that it may be finalized in the coming time. Next time, if we see the industrial response, the Federation of Indian Export Organization has said that there is a strong optimism regarding the sustained export growth and broad-based market diversification. Then they have credited that there is a policy continuity that India is having, export facilitation measures are there, and improved logistic infrastructure. So these are the three basic reasons which are leading to an export increase for the country in terms the challenges which our external sector is facing. Now next part is the apparel and the ready-made garment industry. It has actually shown a very positive trend. So its export have grown by 2.89% in spite of the US tariffs, and it has performed well due to industry's resilience, because the textiles in India is a very old or ancient industry, and we are resilient in that particular industry. Adaptability to the global uncertainties, it has adopted. Then challenges kya hai hamare samne? Uneven demand in the US market, because US is a major consumer for our apparels and the ready-made garments. Inflationary pressure are there, and geopolitical tensions which are now rising in various parts of the world. उसके साथ साथ what should be our strategic response? First of all, product diversification, that is important. Secondly, value added segment. We need to add value to our exports, that is going to make our exports unique. Then improved compliance standards, that is also required. Next part that we are having is that about the future outlook. What can be the future outlook for the exports for the country? So gradual improvement in global demand is expected, and India is well positioned due to reliable supply chain, strong compliance and quality standards, and growing design and manufacturing capabilities. And these are basically related with the textile sector of the country. Now next is significance kya hai India ke liye is increased export ki. So significance is, it is highlighting the importance of market diversification. Ki we should not be dependent upon only one trading partner, we should be diversifying our market. So India now exploring the African markets, India is now exploring the South Asian markets, as well as India is now going for the European Union trade deal. South-South trade has also increased, India, China, India, Hong Kong. So the dependence upon the West is now decreasing. This trend is showing that. So India, it will support India's goal of becoming a global manufacturing and export hub. Now with this, we conclude for the day. This is the prelims question that you need to attempt, and you have to post your answers in the comment box. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Thank you.